Good morning. My timeline, Thursday, April 29th. It's been really busy. Really busy. I haven't really had a lot of opportunity to meditate. Yeah. I know I posted on that last video about just the continued repeated cycles and what I'm seeing unfold and the experiences that I'm having with people. And I mentioned a new beginning, possible new beginning, with someone. And and I set my boundaries with this person and saying, I mean, fire sign. So he has a lot more fire in his chart. So he's a lot more charged than I am. And I'm embracing the energy of the time, right? End of April, beginning May, Taurus, and really embracing that energy and trying to go slow. So here I am, right? Asking this person to go slow. And realizing, like, oh my gosh, like here's this fire sign who has a certain pace, and I'm asking this person to go slow. Thinking in my head, okay, maybe I am ready, right? And I get triggered again. And I don't know if it's the whole pink moon, full moon that we just had in Scorpio, right? Where it's just like Scorpio's like known to like dive deep to your emotions and pull stuff out. And yesterday and the day before, at the end of the day, a really emotional days. But more so yesterday. It was hard for me to focus. It was hard for me to, like, I had to even like put my headphones on at work and put it on blast so that my thoughts couldn't like just, like, that's how bad it was. I hadn't had that in a while. That hadn't happened in a while. And I was talking to Miss Hannah about it and just telling her, I'm like, sometimes, when that happens, like, I have to go running. But it was just with the launch party, like, we had a lot of errands to run, and I got home and I ended up knocking out on the couch, which is so funny because the video that I posted on a month ago, well, it's the only video that I posted on so far. The same video it's the first episode of chapter 18, where I fall asleep and all the lights are on. Yeah, that happened. And just really reflecting on the message of my video posts and then the messages of MJ's that are coming out, and the one today was really focusing on family. It's still trying to stay balanced. Then I thought about it some more, and I thought, thought about second chances. And opportunities, right? It's not just for new things, but also for old things. Opportunities to do things differently. I talk about in that video that I posted for the week, because I've slowed down. I decided to do one video a week for now. I talk about me setting boundaries with a loved one, and me feeling like I no longer have to be in this person's presence to feel like I loved them, right? And realizing for this other person, they might feel differently. Coincidentally, I am still interacting with that individual from the other side of the world. And there's this same need that he has to want to speak to me, to want to have time with me. And I'm really busy right now. Like, with the launch party, and just I have a lot going on right now. And me setting my boundaries with this individual and saying, I don't have time to sit and talk to you, but we can keep texting and leaving each other messages in this way for now until things change. And just being clear about what I'm willing to put into, right, the relationship versus just allowing things to just kind of see. It's like, no, that's not fair to the other person. And so I'm wanting to let this person know, like, I'll continue to text you and we'll continue to leave voice messages, but to actually have a conversation with you because of the time difference and trying that before, and no, I don't have the time right now. I'm trying to stay balanced. So I set those boundaries. But then I thought of my loved one, whom I still haven't heard back from. And I thought, I should reach out. I should reach out and just see how they're doing. You know, because they're loved ones. It's family, it's friends. Just want to make sure they're okay. And then I thought about, like, I spent time with my ex. We still have a good friendship. I think that was one thing I always appreciated about us, was that it felt good. Our friendship was always solid. And I think because we've grown up together, you know, it solidified that friendship. And that was, most of our connection was friendship. And so it felt comfortable to hang out and have dinner with him and update him. You know, we're still kind of working on some of our stuff and you know, separating certain responsibilities but it felt good to hang out with him and have conversations with him, and you know, he helped me out with a couple things which I totally appreciated, and it just felt good, you know, to have a connection still with him in a balanced way. And these connections that I'm making at work, right? Even though it's really busy, still trying to find a way to balance all of that with my own self-care and the things that I have to take care of for me. And it's still a work in progress, right? We're all a work in progress. And so this fire sign, he wanted to fly me to San Francisco. And just things didn't align up. They just didn't align with the busyness of what I have going on. And I was like, thank you for the offer, but you know, maybe it is better this way. You know, maybe it is better that there's going to be this physical space between us, because this person is we're going on a work trip to Istanbul. and me acknowledging that, you know, and being honest and transparent about where I'm at. Like, these are the life lessons that I'm learning, that I'm working on putting into place and mastering for myself. And so this might be a good thing. And I counter offered with the opportunity to just communicate and embrace the space between us, is what I told him. I'm like, let's just embrace the space between us and look at it as something that just connects us, right? As we continue to get to know each other. And that night was really hard. It was hard. And yesterday I woke up crying. So I meditated. And I was just like, God, I'm still trying. I'm still trying. Why do I keep getting triggered? Why do I keep getting triggered? So again, it's another sign, right? That I'm not done healing. So I meditated. I see the light and I see the movement, and it's like this circle in the center, but the waves are like going around the circle, and the circle's closing up. It's closing up. Not completely close, but it's going smaller. So it's like a tunnel almost, like, and the movement's like just kind of going and circling the tunnel, like it's coming up and then it's going like this, and there's a hole still in the center, and it's getting smaller, but it's not yet complete, is the sense that I got. Like, the sensation that I got was almost, not quite there. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just taking it, right? I'm accepting where I'm at. And then I thought about, so that was yesterday. That was on the 28th. It's the 29th. I need to get going. So this morning I woke up, I'm like, okay, I gotta remember, right? I hold the gate to my happiness. I hold the gate to my happiness. And then I thought about second chances with people. Especially because this other person from the other side of the world wants to talk to me. And I'm just like, one, I don't have the time right now, but then I thought about it. Not that I'm gonna make the time, but thought about it for the other people in my life in terms of second chances. And finding a way to balance that, and reminding myself, right, that we're all a work in progress. That we're all experiencing things, and that we're not done growing until we die. We're not done growing. There's always an opportunity to do things differently. That means there's always an opportunity for someone to get it, right? To make a shift, to make a change. And personally, for me, that's worthy enough of a second chance. Regardless of the type of connection. And that was triggered in me because this individual, this fire sign, I wrote him an email, and he paid me a really nice compliment about my writing. He's a writer, ex-writer. So I was like, felt nice from a professional writer for him to describe my email in such a way. He said it was an eloquent letter, eloquent email. But in there, I mentioned, when I was talking about embracing the space between us, I mentioned how it's funny how I'm promoting this almost when one of my love languages used to be quality time. And touch and quality time. Touch was my first one and quality time was the second. And then he says, it's funny that you're saying this and that you say your love language is quality time, but then it sounds like you don't know what your love language is anymore. And then it reminded me of my ex who mentioned to me, he listens to Jay Shetty. He's the the monk, and or the one who used to be a monk. And I guess he listens to his podcast, and he had said that our love languages are really, what did he say? It was something about like our love languages are primarily identified as the things that we lacked when we were growing up. The things we lacked when we were growing up. Okay, that makes sense, right? Because you're needing more of that. Your bucket wasn't filled in those areas of your life. And so then you grow up still with this bucket needing to be filled. But if they are areas of your life that you were lacking when you were growing up, then what happens when you resolve those issues, right? Do those items, is that still a love language for you, or is it now different? And so now I want to take that quiz again and kind of see, you know, if I'm embracing these things that at one point I was struggling with, then what is my new love language? Right? If it's no longer quality time, and I don't know if it's touch as much as it used to be. So then what is it? And do we have to reevaluate that now? Sorry, Gary Chapman who came up with it. I mean, it's still clearly needed, right? Because there's definitely a lot of people out there that are needing it, but what does that say for those of us who have and or continue to work on ourselves and heal those parts of ourselves, fill our buckets, you know, to a certain degree? Does that mean we have to create something new? Does that mean we have to look at love differently? You know, because I was even telling this person, I'm like, a couple days ago, I was telling him, I'm like, you know, love could be anything. Friendships. It's not just romance. It's not just intimacy. Right? We forget that love has many definitions, many actions. Love is an action word. My mom said to me, love is an action. Does it have to be an action word? Can you just love to love without having to do anything, without having to say anything? Just knowing, right? Just feeling the energy. Can it just be that? I don't know. Some things to think about. But I have to get going because I need to drive to downtown LA and get there in an hour and a half. So thanks for listening. My name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is, great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.